Please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance.
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Paulette O'Frias.
Here.
Scott Latham. Tom Grattan.
Here.
Tom Kennedy.
Here.
Brian Tobin.
Here.
In the event of an emergency, all visitors are advised that they may exit this room from the one side door which leads directly into the parking lot. In the event of an emergency, everyone is asked to move away from the building and do not attempt to leave in your automobiles, as this may cause traffic problems and block incoming emergency vehicles.
Thank you. The first item on our agenda is our first hearing of visitors. At this time, we will entertain comments and questions about agenda items only. Would anyone care to address the board at this hearing? Okay, that brings us to our consent agenda, which consists of the approval of our minutes of our regular board meeting of July 24th. It also includes our financial matters, which consists of the schedule of our bills for the month of July, the treasurer's report for the month of July, the monthly budget status report for the month of July. It includes any transfers, the extra classroom activity fund report for the month of July. It includes 3 contracted services. I assume they're for this coming school year, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
And we're surplusing some fax machines and some chairs. And it also includes some CSE recommendations. Is there a motion to accept the consent agenda?
So moved. Second.
Any questions, comments about it? All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. We have an addendum here, impartial hearing officer appointment. The board president is seeking a motion to formally appoint Gary Peters as the impartial hearing officer effective August 28th, 2024. Is there a motion?
Make a motion.
Second?
Second.
Any comments or questions? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Old business, blah, 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 business. Dr. Morrow.
Welcome back. It's hard to believe that today was the second of our superintendent's conference days with all of our faculty and staff in. We did some wonderful work on instructional goals and student engagement today and developing building goals. Yesterday, we had Rohan Murphy started off our year with an inspirational, motivational speech. And then we did some work on the Stop the Bleed and our new Parent Square program. And we have one more day tomorrow with just teachers. All of our custodians and contracted workers have done a phenomenal job. We have new floors throughout parts of the building, replacing very old tiles. They've painted and touched up all the different areas. And everything really looks fantastic. I said this to the faculty and staff. It really is a pleasure to come to a place where there's pride in the building that you work in, because the truth is that doesn't exist everywhere. The guys and gals that work on this building, not only do they make sure that any contractor that comes in and works does an outstanding job, the work that they do is outstanding, and it shows because buildings don't look like this all over Long Island. School buildings don't. I've worked in many of them, wonderful places, but the quality that you have here didn't necessarily exist in every place because the ownership didn't exist in every place. So it's a pleasure to be able to have that. I congratulate and thank all of them. And to all of our kids, have a wonderful long weekend. We look forward to getting you back. Really, next week is when the year becomes enjoyable because schools were not meant to be quiet like they are all summer. It's really way too boring, and I'm looking forward. It's nice that the teachers are back, and I've enjoyed. I'm looking forward to the kids coming back.
I think you missed the whole business.
You can talk about cell phones?
Oh, cell phones.
Yeah.
I apologize.
That's okay. We did 8, now we'll go to 7.
So we did 8, now we'll go to 7. So cell
We
phones.
do that often.
There's a tremendous amount of chatter around the state that have to do with cell phones. The governor talking about banning them. We don't really have great information on that. whether it's going to happen or not. We have had school districts around here that we have banned them. We continue to gather information, and we talk as a faculty and staff. We talk to our kids, and we've talked to members of our community about them. And we may put some things in place like sleeves in classrooms, for kids to put them in. We do have them in probably about 40% of our high school classrooms now, and some of our teachers use them every period. Some of our teachers use them in periods where they don't want their kids to have a phone, and they allow the kids to keep them for certain periods because they actually have the kids use the phones in class.
Why are they only in 40% of the classrooms?
Because we didn't put them up, we put them up in the rooms where people asked for them in the past. Now we're going to probably put them up in every room, and Terrence is talking to his faculty and staff about an expectation that we will have building-wide. The interesting part is that I spoke to someone from one of our neighboring districts who went with the lock bags. So they have these bags that no signals can get out of. You pay about $30 per student. It costs about $30,000 for a 1,000-student high school. And the kids have to put their phone in, and it electronically locks at like 8 in the morning, and it cannot electronically unlock until like 2:30 in the afternoon. And there's a number of schools on the island using them. Some schools are paying $50,000, $60,000 a year to use them. And it was very interesting because just like the mousetrap example, what they found was the kids were dropping $15 on a burner phone, and that's what they were throwing in the bag that was being locked in all day, and their smartphone was in their back pocket, or their bag, or whatever it may be. So I do fully believe, and I've felt this way from the beginning, educating about the use of social media and how you would prefer to be with humans instead of social media. Educating about how you interact positively and correctly. I think all of those types of things are just as important as whether we make you put your phone in a bag or not. Because people are going to get past it, just like they got past everything else, And anybody, listen, all of us know what we got away with because we figured out how to work the system. And that's what kids do because they're smart, and that's what they're always going to do. So now that they're getting into these different scenarios, kids are figuring out how to beat it. So I found the conversations I had with many of my superintendent colleagues over the summer extremely interesting. I find the conversation in the state extremely interesting. I do not know if our governor will ever ban smartphones from schools, as she has hinted at she might do. But I do find that it will be interesting, and I love the conversations with the kids and the parents. When I speak with a parent that says their kid spends 10 hours on the phone, can you ban them in school? It's an interesting conversation, like, turn the phone off or take it away, or, so there are a lot of different interesting conversations that come of it. And I think all of us can be cognizant of the fact that we have a role in it, and we can hopefully work at it.
I think banning is such a strict word,
Yeah.
and I know that's the word the governor uses. If the governor should come down with, I guess it would be mandate
Yeah.
of sorts, would there be, you think, money in the budget given for however she would expect schools to ban them, whether it be these?
So my guess would be no.
I kind of knew the answer before I asked the question.
Especially because they've hinted at the fact that, there's going to be less money in the budget next year no matter what.
Yeah.
So I don't think there will be any, will they come down with $25,000 or $20,000 so that we can get these apparatus? There's different ones. There's big rolling lock boxes that you put the phones in, and there's the bags that the kids hold on to themselves, but they're electronically locked and you can't get your phone out until a certain time. And then there are, there are jammers that school districts put in where no cell service will come into the school or get out.
But if there's a lockdown then, or
It
something
causes
where
problems,
that causes
yeah.
real problems.
Because we utilize the panic buttons on our phone to call the police if we're out on the field. Like, we've asked all our faculty and staff to download an app that allows you to pull up, I have it on my phone. I'm not going to pull it out because there's a big picture of a gun in the middle of it, and it's a little scary. But when I swipe it, it opens up, and I can press ambulance, police. I can press the gun if I saw an armed gunman on property, and within seconds, because Southold subscribes to it, within seconds, their patrol cars that are in our neighborhoods know exactly what our issue is. Now, if we had jammers, we wouldn't have access to that,
Scary.
Yeah, so there are different issues that come up when you try to solve certain problems, so it takes a lot of, in my opinion, a lot of looking at and figuring out what is fully best, There are many countries in this world where their gun laws are a lot less strict than ours, yet they have a lot less gun issues than ours. Do they educate kids better? Do they have different families, adults and kids better? Do they have less, I don't know, less or more of anything? Can it be the same way? Is it the phone that's the issue? I don't know the answer to that question, but I think it's a question we need to answer if we're going to make rules about what we do with phones. Because I don't know if the phone is the issue, or if it's the user, or if it's the education about using it, or if it's, the expectation in the home. When I have someone that asks me to take their child's cell phone away because it's a problem, I don't,
So we'll continue further discussion.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Fair enough. Thank you.
You're welcome.
You done with the superintendent's report?
I am, thank you.
Thank you. That brings us to personnel. We have some employees entering the district full-time permanent. Captain Brandon Kelly, he will be our NJ, that should say NJ ROTC instructor leave replacement effective August 27th, 2024 through December 20th, 2024. Gregory Fothergill, I didn't do bad, Patty, on that one. Special education teacher replacing Ms. Dibble. He, a 4-year probationary appointment effective August 27th, 2024 through August 27th, 2028. We have Sydney Kahn. Is this a new position or is this a replacement for somebody?
New. This was the position because of the number of self-contained students.
Oh, for the elementary?
Yeah, in the elementary.
Special education teacher, 4-year probationary appointment effective August 27th, 2024 through August 27th, 2028. And then we have employees entering the district on a full-time temporary basis. Samantha Lieberman will be a special education leave replacement for O'Neill effective August 27th, 2024 through January 13th, 2025. And then we have some folks on a part-time temporary basis, substitute teacher and teacher assistant and aide, Lori DePasquale, and a substitute nurse, Erin Bednowski. Is there a motion to accept the superintendent's recommendations?
So.
Second?
Second.
Questions or comments? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. We need a motion to approve the 2024-25 district-wide safety plan, which does appear on our website, which we've discussed. Is there a motion?
So moved.
Is there a second? Is there any questions or comments? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. That brings us to our district goals. I think it's probably important that I read these, just,
Everybody has them as well.
yeah, but the public that watches the meeting doesn't, so I'll,
have them up here.
oh, perfect.
Here,
Oh, it's right in front of me, just click the arrow.
I thought you could say it's right in front of me, and I'm looking in that direction.
click it.
All right,
Oh, perfect.
okay. So we have 4, if you'd like, I can, I'll explain briefly if you like.
Why don't you do that, and then we'll look for the motion?
So we have.
Wouldn't mind, thank you.
Yeah, we have 4 goals similarly to what we had last year. Our first is an academic goal. As I said, it is focused on student engagement and, monitoring how engaged our students are is one of the 5 pieces of the foundational 5 approach that we have been using for the last 3 or 4 years. It is, as I've said many times, nothing new. It is just a more organized way for us to talk about and look at what we do. These are skills and techniques that our teachers use all the time. It gives us the opportunity and the forum to share with each other what they use, to share with each other what is most effective, and for us to monitor it and report out to our community what we're doing. We have a social emotional goal. Rethink Ed is a company that we have worked with for a couple years now. The approach we took last year was we picked 8 different characteristics like trustworthiness or truthfulness, and we sent home a letter to our families and gave them some information about it every month, and we focused on those in our classes. We're going to probably focus a little more on some of them this year, and probably a few more activities. We're having a conversation with our faculty and staff tomorrow, because we like to get input from them before we finalize our plan into that. Our third goal is a financial goal. It is twofold. The first part is very similar to last year's. We want to keep all our programs. We want it to be tax sensitive. We want 75% or more of our voters to approve it. And then there is, and we want to keep our bond rating high so that we can keep our interest rates low. And then the second piece of that is to explore potential fiscal planning opportunities to support district needs locally. Some of that has to do with our current bond and when our bond debt will run out, how we can manage that money differently. Do we need a new bond? And, all those scenarios, so that we can keep a situation where we can upkeep, we can maintain, we can replace, like when your turf field goes, you're talking about $1 million replacement. Adding that to a budget for a year is difficult. So we're going to look at locally supporting any of the work we need in our building, be it boilers like we've done now with reserves, be it roofs, which we're going to have to do in the future, or windows. And then our last is a facilities goal. Develop the system, ensure the 5-year plan is a living document. We built the 5-year plan this year, map out a fiscal plan for anticipated projects, and then identify a plan to fiscally support the district's needs internally. That goes in conjunction with the financial plan goal from the day before. They're all up here on the board. Our faculty and staff understands that they were in draft form today, but they started working with them already to mirror and create their building goals. That's what we got.
Are there any questions or comments on the goals? I know Tom had some questions.
Yes, thank you. So the goal number one, high quality instruction, like how is that being measured?
So we train with PLC Associates. Our trainer, Judy, was in district today. She worked with us over the summer as an administrative staff to identify, there's a tremendous amount of documented research about what is high quality instruction when it comes to student engagement, what is high quality instruction when it comes to learning targets. So for instance, learning targets last year, having learning targets posted, unpacking them with students being able to reiterate and explain what they were learning and what the purpose of the lesson is. And you heard learning targets in your class this year, because we walked around and they were present 96% of the time. I only know because we did this with our faculty today. I don't really memorize this stuff, and it's not what I do. So we get trained by PLC on what is engagement, because when you sit in front of a room and you talk, you guys all really look engaged, but you might be thinking about the beach on Saturday as you nod at me, and Chuck is definitely thinking about some sort of financial information as he sits there and smiles, and I can say they're all engaged. Look, they're looking at me, but that's not one of the factors when we get trained. So we're working with PLC now, so that all of our people that are going in and gathering data, and then we're also working with our faculty and staff. So we met with them today, and our building administrators had conversations with them about, how do you know when your kids are engaged? What do you look for when it comes, so that's how we do number one,
Is it like any metrics, like test scores or any other things that come into
No.
equation?
No, it's because it's not it's more about engagement. Now, ideally, will you see improvements in many of those areas? Yeah. If your engagement increases, then their performance should increase. We have not got to the point, we're only on our second piece of the foundational 5, so I don't think we're at a point yet where we've started to evaluate. It's very difficult with our test scores, because if one student drops out of school, we drop 3% in our graduation rate. Whereas like everybody stayed in a couple years ago and our graduation rate went up 3%. So it's a difficult thing to correlate because of our numbers. We have such small groups.
I mean, is it the eventual goal to kind of take that hard data, like the metrics and numbers from this?
I mean, the eventual goal is
Because, I mean, that's a way to measure, like you said, what's working, right? And, hey, the engagement strategies that certain teachers are using in certain classes, this is the thing,
Yeah.
and how do we replicate that?
So I would say if we had, we would have to look at it more carefully. Because of our size, some of what you're talking about is what you would do in a regular study, if you had 30,000 kids and 100 teachers. We have one teacher that teaches certain subjects here where every kid takes the Regents exam, it's one person. There's no correlation to somebody else. Like we can't say this class has kids better engaged than this class and their Regents results are higher, because we don't have the two. That makes it difficult when it comes to test scores. And then we're also utilizing imperfect measures. Routinely, Regents exam questions get disqualified. There were 2 this year. So, everybody's score changed by 2. There's years where 70% of the island passes a certain Regents. There's years where 45% pass a certain Regents. And the fact is, nobody gets that much better or worse in a year. So it's an imperfect measure, but it's certainly something we can look at. We hadn't planned on doing it, but, it's absolutely something we can look at going forward. It's an excellent thing. If we had a large enough system, it would be something that we probably would have built into a goal.
And then also, again, you did mention it's great that the faculty is tackling this today, and, I guess there is some reporting throughout the year, but
Yeah.
is there also, again, continued faculty involvement in those reports? to
Yeah,
say-
so Judy spends 8 days with us over the summer, and our principals report out to faculty monthly. And they tell them, what they're seeing when they're coming into rooms, and they have conversations about it.
So it's a dialogue, it's not just the administrators, but the faculty have the opportunity to say, hey,
Yes.
this engagement strategy is working.
Yes.
We should try to replicate.
Yeah, so they do that both with our consultant and with our administrators. So it's part of every monthly meeting, and it's a dialogue. Some of it is reporting out of data, because we're collecting data. And then there are training sessions and conversations. Yeah, it's a good question. Yep.
Goal 2, you'd mentioned the letters. I mean, is this, again, with technology, something that also, we can utilize the website, just to
We send them home electronically, and then we post them on our website.
perfect.
Yep. Yeah, we don't send, I say letters because I write them and I'm old, but we don't
Last year,
really.
we posted them, and I think we
Yeah.
went over my board
We did,
meetings
yeah, we
each
did.
month.
But I say letters, just like I say talk. Talk sometimes means chat, like this way, so, that's my age more than anything, but yeah, that's how we do that.
Goal 3, the 75% of the budget vote, is that of the voters who are voting?
Yes.
Or is that of the entire?
Of the voters that vote. Yeah, we can't get really a good gauge on what the people that don't come feel about things. But my assumption is if they had an issue, they'd come. That tends to be, the way it works. Voting in the United States is at an all-time low and has been for a number of years. And we've found, I don't know the number here. I know you were looking it up for me.
Of how many voters we have in the
Yeah,
district?
yeah.
You have like 51 and change, 100,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Get
Like over
enough votes
5,000.
for students enrolled.
I know, so how do we get more voter engagement?
Very good. How do we, I
We've
guess,
been talking about that
I'm going to
for
answer your
100 years.
question with another
Here's the
question.
cap.
Like, how do we get more parent engagement? Because we do, we bring in experts to teach about social media. Only 5 people show up. So I don't have a great answer for voting. I have always found that people come and vote when they're unhappy. Maybe that's not a great answer. We have a lot of people that come and vote that are happy and clearly very supportive, because otherwise we couldn't do the things we're doing. Our voter turnout is very, very similar to the rest of Long Island, which is poor, so.
I think everyone at least sitting at the table, would agree, this is the most consequential election you have. I mean, this is the most of your tax dollars, and, you know, we're educating our children. I mean, do we as a board look to a different strategy as part of this goal this year to, you know, raise voter awareness? I mean, it's a way to get more people informed and to the polls.
Yeah, I mean, that's really a question for you guys.
Many years ago, Judy Fouché and I tackled the lower votes, and for several years that, and what was very, very interesting to us is that, and I've said this at many board meetings, as you guys know, our community votes on our budget, not our parents. We sat there with parent rolls, with the PTA, and checked off parents. If parents did not come and vote regularly, it was our community members that came and vote. It goes to what Tony, our senior citizens, it goes to what Tony says, it's parent engagement. We, you know, I could be sarcastic, but I won't because I'm tired, I guess. We've been trying, Tom, and I don't know what the answer is. We tried having concerts in line with budget. Remember the year we did the concerts in line with the budget vote, thinking that would bring parents? What it brought was a disaster to the parking lot. The elementary PTA got involved. They did that whole thing outside, trying to get the elementary parents involved. I forget what it was, but they did outside activity, right. And then they tried going down to, because it's Little League time of the year, going down to Little League fields. They had parent reps going down. So we have tried. I don't know that there's an easy answer for it. Yeah,
Fortunately, we have community support.
we do have community support, and we thank them every year because we're lucky without them.
We're 15 or 20% above the typical passing rate on Long Island. So our community is very supportive, the ones that come and vote.
Right, the ones that come, though, it's like I said, so I don't think this is something we should give up on. I mean, it's, again, he
Yeah.
said 51, and maybe, you know, I don't know what the percentage of, I don't know, again, you know,
What do
part
we have, 600?
615, I think.
Yeah.
So that's, I'm not a math major, but that's less than
Yeah.
10%.
It's about 12. No,
Yeah.
it is a
Oh, it's more
little,
than
yeah, it's a little over 10%.
And it's not just our district,
I mean,
like
it's
you said.
nationwide.
It's island-wide.
But, I mean, we as a board, do we want to put a number that we would like to see this raised of engagement from our community?
I have trouble putting a number on anything that we don't think is realistic.
Not a number, but just, again, develop a strategy that, you know, we're talking right now, it's August, we have till May to try to increase voter
So, I mean,
turnout.
my suggestion would probably be that if it's something we want to do, put it in the new business, and we can possibly reach out to the School Boards Association or other districts that have met with success. I wouldn't make it part of the goals for now, but just because it's not a goal doesn't mean it can't be an action that we choose to act on. I don't, you know, I've tried to increase engagement with my parents, and I've watched over 32 years where it's just declined and declined and declined. We don't even get the majority of our parents come to open school night, you know. And we get a better number here than we get in most places. But there's a lot of places where if it's not the elementary school, the really younger grades, you know, your classroom of 29 kids in high school, there's 6 parents sitting in it. You know, that's the norm around the island. So it's something we struggle with. I don't disagree that it's something that we should continue to work on. We continue to try to come up with programs and get people in. And so, I mean, my suggestion would be that if it's something that we want to make an action, you know, an actionable item, that we put it on as new business to a future agenda, and then maybe reach out to some of the organizations that might be able to provide us, because I don't unfortunately have a good suggestion for you. You know, I've tried a lot of things. As an elementary principal, I tried a lot of stuff. I even tried to hold people captive, where I would bring them in and speak to them first in the cafeteria, and then, you know, they figured out that they were coming to me first, so they would come 20 minutes later, so they could just go right to the classroom and not have to be, you know. So I've tried everything, and I don't really have a great answer for you, unfortunately.
I just am in favor of just keep trying. I mean, everyone applaud everybody's efforts. I hear your frustrations, and it's tough. I you know, no doubt, but I think it's, yeah, I think your suggestion is good. And then 4, just a small typo, 2 R's in 3 to 4 years.
Yeah.
But no, thank you.
You're welcome. Is there a motion to adopt the district goals for this coming school year?
So moved.
Second? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Finance Committee report?
Nothing.
Okay, Building Committee report.
Nothing.
Well, Mr. Latham, we did have a lengthy policy committee. I'll let you talk about it.
Yes, we have 5 policies and 2 regulations on for first read. Everybody has them. It's basically legislative action or regulatory action affected their content. There's nothing, or best practices, there's nothing tremendous in here. A lot of it's just quoting, "You shall because of this law." So I move that these get put on for first reading.
Is there a second?
Second.
All in favor? Opposed? Motion carries. Yeah, most of them were word verbiage, a lot of it was
Yeah,
verbiage.
absolutely.
New business, anybody have any new business?
Dr. Moore, we'll make that a new business discussion for a future meeting?
Yeah.
Okay.
Because we'd have to gather information on it, you know. So just, you would just want to, whichever meeting you want to put it on, shoot me an email, and Patty will add it to the agenda, include both of us on it. If there's organizations you want us to reach out to, if you want to reach out, School Boards Association is something that you guys have access to. So you could shoot them an email and ask. I can ask superintendents and, you know, just let me know.
Well, perhaps the neighboring districts, just to get, you
Yeah.
know, their, our 5,100, 600, get that breakdown
Yeah.
from Greenport and Madison.
See what their numbers are for voting, and, sure.
They're all kind of low, you
Yeah.
know?
Mhm.
I hear from the district clerks, you know, we put information out in newsletters and,
I think I might even be able to find some of that information online. Because Newsday reports.
right.
I don't know if they report out the total number of voters, but they report how many voted. I'll take a look for some.
Yep.
Yeah.
I want to give us enough time. I mean, I don't, like I said, September's rolling around, it's going to be busy. We say October, November, just tentatively.
We'll put it
Okay,
in a tickler file and.
okay. Thank you.
That brings us to our second hearing of visitors. At this time, would anybody care to address the board about any questions or comments about agenda items or school matters in general? No? Nobody tonight? Okay, that brings us to board member commentary. Mr. Latham. Gotcha. You weren't sitting
It's
here.
just, it's great to see the kids, you know, it's nice to have to wait online at Michelangelo's for pizza, because the whole soccer team's there, seeing the courts being used. Everybody walked on a new floor. It looks tremendous between the walls last year, the floor this year. Again, my applause to Tony and all the facilities guys. They're the unsung heroes of this district, inside, outside, and we're always giving accolades to our academics and whatnot, but those guys really put in yeoman's work for the summer and make this place look gorgeous, like a college campus. So just can't wait for the school year to start.
Mr. Kennedy down there.
Thank you. Just to echo Scott's sentiment, it's great to see the school, the hard work is done, the excitement just to, you know, for the school year to start, for all the students, but especially my son Alexander, who's here with us tonight, starting his senior year. So Alex, good luck to you and all your friends this year. It's great to see and just be a part of this process. Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Grattan over there.
No, I have nothing.
Mr. Tobin.
Same sentiments. Building looks great. Nice job, Tony, and to the rest of the staff, and welcome back.
I'll echo everybody's thoughts. Good luck to the staff, the students. Big shout out, thank yous to the guys that worked so hard. When you think about how few days they had over the summer and how much work they got done, it really is incredible. I'm going to say the same thing I say all the time. Maybe it should go in new business at some point. I really, really think with our numbers, and I know next month you'll provide us with our enrollment numbers, that we need to start reaching out to Greenport to share some classes, or we're just not going to be able to offer what I think we should offer our students, to continue what we're offering, but maybe even add things. And I don't see how to make it work with the numbers going forward without forming a partnership with them like we've had several times before. I know they're going through the superintendent
Yeah.
thing, and I understand it can't happen right away. So I'll let it go for maybe a month, and then I'll bring it up again. But, if, you know, the squeaky wheel, I think it's important. I want to continue to offer our students the courses that we've been able to. That being said, our next regular school board meeting is September 25th, 2024. Please come back and see us. Is there a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Anybody's opposed to that? No. Thank you for coming.